Good morning. Welcome to World of Work Wednesday. This morning, Mr. Davidson is in Skyline with Brae Buckner. Brae is a wildlife biologist. So, Mr. Davidson,
Good
take it.
morning, Mr. Calvin. Good morning, Jackson County. This is we've been from the South Gulf to the beaches to now we're in North Alabama, close to the Tennessee line here at Skyline on Cumberland Mountain. We're at the, I guess you call this the home office base hub for the wildlife management folks at Skyline. This is Miss Brae Buckner. She worked for the state of Alabama as a wildlife biologist. And in the 5 years that I was here at Skyline, I can tell you that this is a large geographic location, just Skyline and the mountain that we're on here. But she manages the team of two other individuals about 100 square miles.
Yeah, it's about 62,000 acres. So we cover about 100 square miles all the way from Fackler to Trenton. And then part of the management area actually goes up into Tennessee and comes back down. So we have a lot of land to cover.
And needless to say, her office is all of that. So if we've got students out there that like to get outside, they don't want to sit behind a desk or a computer or inside of a building all day, every day for a career. She's going to tell you her background and the way that it led her to be here. And as you can tell, she looks like she has got in this building a lot of toys to play with, like side-by-sides and recreational vehicles, because she has to go through all the valleys and mountain ranges. And then as I pulled up today, she's got a host of equipment from heavy machines, from semi-trucks with trailers, bulldozers, backhoes. And so she can operate all of those. And she can tell you exactly what she told me about what all their job entails. But I can tell you this, we're going to be able to take the camera hopefully around with a hotspot and look at the facility and see what toy she has. But all the students out there that's interested in science, any kind of sciences, she's going to talk to you about plants and animals, but parallel that into how you could take the next step into your ag classes and explore ag and animal science and plant science and everything that we talk about through our ag programs in all 6 of our high schools. And then from that, which one of those programs would lead you either straight to a career like this or take you to Epcot, to one of the programs that we have that even furthers your career and opportunities to do something with wildlife and the outdoors. So I'm going to turn it over now to Miss Brae Buckner.
Hey, y'all. So yeah, he covered a lot of it. As you can see, this is my headquarters and my office is in here, but I'm very rarely in the office. People ask me what I do a lot, and I always laugh because we're kind of farmers, scientists, engineers, teachers, all of it. We do a whole lot of planning. We planting food plots, native warm season grass plots, all that stuff. Whole lot of plant identification, working firsthand with animals. We do a lot of research. I'm about to start our quail call research, which is basically you come out here at sunrise and listen for quail and get to see the woods wake up. So it's a pretty good way to get paid. We'll start our turkey and fawn research later in the summer. We do dove banding. A lot of times we'll help out the waterfowl areas with duck banding. We get calls all the time for, human wildlife conflicts. I've got a fawn in my yard, or this raccoon's in my garage, whole lot of stuff like that. We really do everything out here. And like he said, I only have 2 full-time employees right now. One's been here about 37 years and one's been here for 18 years. So I think they like their jobs pretty well. Getting started on this, I went to Auburn. For a wildlife management degree, you have to go to an accredited 4-year university that curriculum matches the Wildlife Society. I went to Auburn straight out of high school, planning to be a vet. I just knew that I wanted to work with animals, and I thought that that was the only option. About 2 years in, I decided that was not for me. Found out about the wildlife program, switched. Extended my stay at Auburn a little bit by 1 semester. I went and studied abroad in Africa for a month, doing research over there. Came back, and worked in the private sector for a little bit. And then I got hired on by the state in January of 2019. So I've been here close to 2.5 years. We have other positions that don't require the college route. We've got laborers, equipment operators, and aides, and you work your way up pretty quickly. So our laborers, we start out hourly up. Once you get past that, it's a salary-based position. But all of our full-time employees get retirement, Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, and a vehicle to drive to and from work all over the WMA. And that makes a huge difference because, like, I live in Dutton, driving a Skyline every day. I was telling Mr. Davidson earlier that I think I fill up my personal car with gas maybe every other week because it's a huge difference up here. We get paid leave off. I'm actually planning a wedding right now, and I'm going to be getting paid the whole time I'm on my honeymoon because we get 4.5 hours of annual leave and 4.5 hours of sick leave every paycheck. So the pay, labor-wise, we start out at minimum wage unless you have a salary to match. You're topped out at close to $12 an hour, but that gets bumped up pretty regularly. After a little while, you get bumped up to equipment operator and then biologist aide. So on paper, the pay doesn't look fantastic, but the benefits are pretty top-notch. You're not really going to find that many other places. And one thing that was really important in this past year that I think we've all learned, we never shut down during COVID. We never had to worry about getting a paycheck. We never had to worry about our benefits running out. Like, we always have a job to come to. So.
And one thing that I want to clarify, she is not the game warden. That is something that's sort of misleading. She can fulfill some of those duties, and she is in the woods and manages wildlife, but that is a separate position altogether. But that is something that she said is often sort of mixed up.
So yes, I'm not the game warden. We have game wardens in this county, but in this field, there are several different options. I'm a WMA biologist, so I manage the public land up here. I manage the hunters and the upkeep of the property and all the wildlife research. We do have game wardens. I think everybody knows what the game warden's job is. We've got foresters that work with us. We have private lands biologists that work with us, and we have non-game biologists that work with us. So the non-game biologists are the ones that are going to focus on everything that we don't hunt. So our golden eagle research, our spotted skunk research, indigo snakes, gopher tortoises, bats, all of that stuff. So a lot of people think our job is just for hunters, but it's not. You can pick what you're drawn to the most and then kind of specialize in it. I love deer. I mean, deer is my bread and butter, and we've got plenty of them up here in Skyline.
She's also got a former Woodville student that's going to be interning with her this summer.
I do. Lauren Wright, she graduated last year. I just hired her on as my summer intern. She's at Auburn right now, and she's going to be moving back here to work for me this summer, really get hands-on with the research, equipment use, all sorts of stuff like that. And it's really going to help her resume out whenever she gets ready to join the workforce. Jobs like this help out a lot.
And the problem is she doesn't have a lot of people to choose from when she goes down and looks at applications. She mentioned to me that she's always going to have opportunity for internships. But if we had qualified students in Jackson County that were prepared to do those, it would probably land them close to home in order to be able to fill those spots that she has. And I can tell you what she's looking for, and it's probably not what you're expecting, but I'll let her tell you.
Yeah, so I'm looking for people that enjoy working outside, pretty much all weather conditions, are comfortable driving a tractor, driving a four-wheeler, can pull a trailer with a truck. A lot of things that you really wouldn't think, but I need equipment operators, people that can do basic repairs on your vehicles, because we do pretty much everything in-house. Aside from huge things, all of our equipment repairs, and we've got a Peterbilt truck, we've got a road grader, a dozer, a backhoe, several tractors, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, all of that, we do most of that in-house. So, and it sounds weird, but anybody that's a good mechanic would be fantastic at this job.
Hey, Mr. Calvin, do we have a program at Epcot that matches up with that we've already covered?
I believe we do.
I think that's called Diesel with Mr. Dean, and she visited him the other day, and we talked about some of the opportunities that those students would be having.
I did, and they were actually rebuilding one of the tractors that we have here, the same one. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my favorite tractor. I didn't know that y'all covered all that, because in my mind, when I think diesel, I just think big trucks and bulldozers and stuff like that. But all of that is very helpful here.
Let's take a tour of her area and let her talk to you about
while we're doing the tour, if anybody's got any questions for Brae this morning, type those in the chat. We'll make sure we get those asked.
Yeah, so here, obviously, we've got our 3 4-wheelers with our tanks on it. We use these for research, access to things, and mainly we use it for prescribed burning, because we manage a lot of the habitat with fire. We are all certified burn bosses with the state of Alabama. The state paid for us to go to this class, and that means that we understand fire science, the safety behind it, everything that goes into managing prescribed fire for habitat. So we use these 4-wheelers a lot for that. We've got our side-by-side over here. Also,
Mr. Calvin, if the students that are a part of the ag program will take part of the summer program at Camp Maranatha, she always comes and speaks to them, and part of that is talking about prescribed burns.
Yeah, a lot of that is talking about prescribed burns. I did it last summer for the first time, and had a lot of good questions and a good time. We have pretty much everything in here. Up top, we've got our herbicides. That's another thing we do, is a lot of herbicide treatments on invasive plants. We've got our canoe that we use for different things. We're doing a lot of beaver swamp management right now that requires canoes and kayaks. Let's see. Out here is our big shop.
Can you still hear us, Mr. Calvin?
We can, yes.
Okay.
Can you see the tractors in her lay down yard of all the equipment they use?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got all of our tractors, bush hogs, discs. We've got our road grader, our Peterbilt, our dozer was right over here. We just got done doing some repairs on it. We've got our backhoe down in Little Coon Valley right now because we had to repair some creek crossings.
All right, we're starting to lose you, Mr. Davidson.
Yeah, I talked. Oh.
All right, we're headed back in.
Okay, yeah. You got to look just a little
about now?
Range there.
We'll head back in.
Okay.
Did you pick up on the last thing that she said about using carpentry skills to build things? They have to build shelters and houses and different things out in that.
No, we didn't.
Management area.
That's the part we missed. Wood duck. Okay, so we do a lot of our own carpentry in-house also. Our kiosk, we build wood duck boxes for nesting habitat. Pretty much any repairs that need to be done out here, we do it. We do welding out here. I know that that's something that y'all offer at the tech school also. A lot of our equipment maintenance requires welding. Our gates, which that doesn't seem like a big thing, but we have 80 or so gates that a lot of times need to be repaired. Like I said, we do all of our own road work. We have about 211 miles worth of interior roads on Skyline. And so our gates closed this week with the end of turkey season. They will open back up in October. So we only have 3 or 4 months, and that's on good weather days, to work all of these roads. And that's something that is a lot of fun. The dozer, we get gravel deliveries from local businesses around here. We use the road grader. So in addition to habitat management and wildlife research, we also have to look at public access. We are funded solely by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses. So that's what everything runs off of in here, and an excise tax on firearms and ammunition. So we also have a shooting range out here that sometimes we'll have shooting days that are hosted by the law enforcement section. That is open every day of the year, sun up to sundown. It's for the public. All you have to have is some sort of hunting, fishing, WMA license to come out here. But that's another big thing is we don't get any tax dollars from the general fund in the state. Some state wildlife agencies do, we don't. And that means that the hunters they pay our salaries. So we want to take care of this place, provide good hunting experience. We've also got the Walls of Jericho, so that brings in a lot of, we call them non-consumptive recreation users, so hikers, photographers, stuff like that, and we manage all of that up
Ties
here.
right back into tourism.
It does tie into tourism. I know they heard from Sarah a while back, and I've been speaking with her, talking about the impact that the WMA has on Jackson County tourism. I know last year when COVID hit, we saw a huge influx of hunters and hikers up here. I was telling him this past deer season, we had 6,700 man days of deer hunting put in. So imagine that many hunters for 4 months out of the year.
And those hunters had to fuel up, they had to eat, and they had some of them probably even stayed in Jackson County while they were here.
Yeah, and we actually have 7 campgrounds out here also that we maintain. So it's primitive camping, but you can bring your campers. We just don't have hookups. That's something else that we do. So, I'm answering questions constantly about how can I get here? Can I do this? Or have help with anybody? We have a lot of hunters and hikers get lost out here. And so I'm kind of on call 24/7, but typically our work week is Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And I think last year we got 14 holidays off. So pretty much every month we get a holiday at least once.
All right, we've surely got some questions from our audience this morning.
We've got one question that's come in. It's just as how old do you have to be to either, I guess, be an intern or anything like that?
You have to be 18.
Okay.
And you have to be a high school graduate. For my summer intern program, it has to be a full-time student in a wildlife curriculum at Auburn, Mississippi State, one of those schools. I'll say this, I highly suggest to any of you juniors, seniors looking to go the university route, go to community college first. I didn't. My grades suffered for it. But Northeast, Gadsden State, something like that, I highly suggest doing that first, and you'll be much more prepared for your actual major curriculum. But
I'll ask a question. It may be asked a lot, but we're a large county. You said we're the largest
landmass county in the state.
Largest landmass county in the state that's managed by your office. What types of animals do we have out there that kids are not even aware that we have? I know deer and turkey are popular, but we have bobcats.
We do. We have large deer, turkey, bobcats, coyote. 2 types of skunk have actually been spotted out here, the striped skunk, eastern spotted skunk. I saw a long-tailed weasel for the first time about 2 years ago, and he showed up in our parking lot, which that's very rare. Beavers, otters, mink, muskrat. No confirmed sightings of any other big cats. And I know that everybody's cousin's girlfriend, sister has seen one.
What about bear?
We have had bear sightings up here. We don't have a breeding population of bears up here that's confirmed yet. Typically, this time of year is when you'll start hearing the calls and seeing sign of these younger male bears passing through. A lot of them are headed to North Georgia, up to Tennessee. We do have a breeding population in Little River. So just right across the Tennessee River in DeKalb County, we do have several breeding females that have cubs every year. So I think it's only a matter of time until we start getting comfortable with seeing bears. I love bears. I've radio collared some of the bears in South Africa, South Alabama, and I'm excited about their population increase.
Any more questions, Mr. Cole?
One more question. Like in that field, what's the max salary we can look at?
Max salary for a wildlife biologist, it's up in the 60s or 70s. Right now, I'm sitting around 40, which once again does not sound fantastic on paper, but I bought a house by myself at the age of 25. I don't know a whole lot of people that can say that. It's consistent. Like I said, I'm on salary. Some of my employees start out hourly and then work their way up to salary. But one thing that is really big with us is your benefits, your retirement. Retirement is a huge thing. And I didn't see the importance of it when I was coming straight out of high school. You know, I just wanted to see a lot of money on paper on a check. But now insurance, all of that stuff is so, so important. And I mean, this would really be the perfect job for a high school student that either wanted to do community college or didn't want to go the college route and just start, you know, the manual labor and stuff like that while you're getting on your feet. This is a really, really good job. I mean, you start your retirement fund at 18, 19. That's pretty good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Mr. Davidson, I think that's all the questions we've got. We appreciate your time. Brae, we appreciate you. It was nice to see you this morning and appreciate what you had to tell us today.
Yeah, thank you. And y'all have my email address and everything if anybody's interested in speaking.
The best opportunity to see her in person will again be at the FFA summer camps at Camp Maranatha. She will be presenting down there again this year, hopefully.
All right, sounds good. Y'all have a great day today.
Thanks, y'all too.
Bye-bye.